We have just received information from the family of Garth Brooks that he passed away this morning. Details of the obituary and funeral are being planned to take place tomorrow. Brooks, 60, offers just 3 words to explain. Scared to death. It's safe to say, after Thursday night's long-anticipated Nashville performance, that Brooks has conquered his fear. In a 110-minute concert before a worshipful crowd, Brooks clearly made himself at home in country music's most hallowed house. "I've never been here before," he declared around the halfway point. "But they're gonna have to get rid of me now. It's so sweet to be in a room where everything is going your way." Why the fear? This wasn't a case of ordinary stage fright. Famously unassuming, Brooks admitted at an afternoon press conference that he simply didn't feel worthy. This is the guy, after all, who tried to turn down admission to the Country Music Hall of Fame because Randy Travis wasn't in there yet, an omission that's been taken care of this year. In fact, Brooks revealed he hadn't stepped foot in the Ryman until 2002 when Trisha Yearwood, then his girlfriend, now his wife, insisted he accompany her there to songwriter Harlan Howard's funeral. "I wouldn't," Brooks said. "That's the house, man. That's where the serious ones played." But Brooks needed a special place to launch the Garth channel on SiriusXM, and the Ryman was the obvious choice. Brooks said he knew the timing was right once he walked in for rehearsals and, it felt, I don't know how to say this without sounding very egotistical, but it felt very welcoming. Ellipsis. It felt good. The concert, free to about 2,300 lucky satellite radio subscribers, was broadcast live. From the outset, Brooks showed his reverence to the one-time church, simply emerging from behind the stage curtain, no smoke or strobe lights in sight, and announcing, "I've wanted to say this my whole life. Welcome to the Ryman Auditorium." Then, for the next several minutes, he stood solo, hunting through his vast library of country standards, trying to pick the first song that would mingle with the echoes of his heroes. "Should it be my very favorite country song ever recorded?" he asked before trying out the first few lines of Cal Smith's Country Bumpkin. Accompanying himself on guitar or simply singing a cappella, he moved on to snippets of George Jones' He Stopped Loving Her Today, George Strait's Amarillo by Morning, Merle Haggard's Today I Started Loving You Again, Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You, and Travis's I Told You So. Finally, he settled on his choice, a tender rendering of Don't Close Your Eyes, a 1988 hit for Keith Whitley, who died tragically in 1989 just as Brooks's career was taking off. The last note faded, and Brooks closed his eyes and prayerfully clasped his hands just as the curtain parted to reveal his 7-piece band and backup singers. The first familiar notes of Friends in Low Places were all the crowd needed to hear to know it was finally time for The Garth Show, or what might as well be called The Garth Sing-Along. As with his arena and stadium concerts, the audience seemed to know every word to the hits, and Brooks soaked up the sound. "All I can say is, on a night when I needed you to be at your very best, you have been unbelievable," he said after Unanswered Prayers. Yearwood joined him on In Another's Eyes, and they also rolled out a Torch-Y duet, Whiskey to Wine, that Brooks announced would be on his upcoming album. After The Dance closed out the concert and Brooks declared he didn't know why I stayed away from here so long. One thing seemed certain. He was ready to return any time. Maybe even this very night. He came back for a 6-song encore.